can't outrun the emptiness.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts is the best MCU movie since Endgame.
Why you booing me? I'm right.
Going in, I had low expectations for this movie. I mean, it's a bunch of C-listers that I barely even know. And then I watched the trailer and it actually looked like fun. And it's crazy that I like this movie so much because I didn't even know who half these guys were. Two of them are from a movie that I didn't watch. One of them dies. One of them is from a show with the freaking Falcon. One of them being an Ant-Man villain. And one of them being the best character in the entire movie. This movie is legitimately so good. I saw it twice and I already want to see it a third time. My favorite part about seeing it the second time is that I just got to troll my friends and tell them that things were going to happen even though I knew they weren't. My friend Demetri straight up asked me, is Mel the villain? And I'm like,
Boy, if you don't.
but what went from a normal Marvel movie that I would just watch because I like the MCU turned into something that actually had really deep themes and messaging. Yeah, over the last few phases, I don't even remember the last time a Marvel movie was good, let alone had themes. And I liked these movies just fine, I just think this one's better. So let's get into what makes this movie so entertaining between the team actually acting like a family and the darker themes of depression and self-harm. And this video will contain spoilers. If you think I was going to do the video without spoilers, brother, you're stupid. So let's talk about Thunderbolts, or a more accurate way of saying it, let's talk about the new Avengers. The movie starts off when we meet our main character, Yelena.
Oh, power.
Florence Pugh is so bad.
She's so fine, she done pissing me off. How are you that fine?
I wish I was Bob in that one scene just so I could hold her hand. Not even the void itself could get me out of that.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
My fault. But this movie for real starts with her jumping off a building. Yeah, because knowing the main character of the movie wants to kill herself makes me feel real good about my clinical depression. But it turns out she just went to another roof to complete her mission. See, Yelena here strives for more, but she's actually working for this lady. And in this courtroom scene is where we get reintroduced to the GOAT.
Yeah, A-Town is on again, A-Town, yeah, y'all know how.
But I forgot I can't be really throwing the word GOAT around because he hasn't done anything since Winter Soldier. And that wouldn't be a huge issue if that movie didn't come out in 2014. He does kind of do stuff in this movie. Not really, but I gotta give my boy the benefit of the doubt. But focusing back on Valentina, even though I hate her and I hope she gets hit by a semi-truck, I really like her assistant Mel. Even though she's afraid to really stand up to Valentina, she wants to do the right thing and doesn't agree with the things that she's doing. But when we cut back to Yelena, she's with her dad, the Red Guardian, and they're talking about how she's sadder than usual. But I really like this theme of being fulfilled and being happy with what you're doing in your life. And Alexei says the last time he felt fulfilled was when he was protecting his country. Bro, you ain't protecting nobody! I ain't trying to hate, I'm just saying. But skipping to the good part, Valentina's in trouble and she sends Yelena to go kill Ghost.
Who?
Yeah, I keep forgetting she's in this movie. But she goes there and she starts seeing some things about Project Sentry. We'll get to him later. But a bullet flies towards her and it's none other than...
Oh my god, bro.
It's this middle-aged, narcissistic Temu version of Captain America without any of the sauce. And after this dude, Taskmaster shows up. Honestly, I don't know who invited all these Z-listers. Oh my god. And as each member is going to send each other to the Shadow Realm, we get introduced to him.
I'm Bob, I told you, yeah, Bob.
It's aight, you don't have that Aura DLC pack just yet, but this is Bob, and he's my favorite character. But right off the bat, John is pressing Bob, and I get it, you were Captain America for 2 seconds and now you think you're above everybody, but let me tell you, you're still trash. And if people tell you otherwise,
Was fake. I knew it.
but Yelena soon finds out that they are exposable and that they are going to die in T-minus like 5 minutes. Ghost tries to leave, but that don't work, so they have to find a way out together. But they work together to climb the shaft, and Bob's out here yelling cucumber.
Cucumber!
Oh, nigga, you gay.
But while they're climbing this, Bob says he always makes things worse, which comes back later, so pay attention to that. But as US Agent decides to pull himself off, dropping everybody, I hate this dude so much. He does help everybody up, including Bob, which gives him like a vision to his past. This dude is not only a terrible person, a terrible husband, but you a terrible dad? Man, I can't have nothing with this dude. But after that vision, he looks back down the shaft as if he's gonna jump, and I'm just like, do it. But as Valentina's trying to kill them, we get a little more information about Bob before he goes out to risk his life. And based on some lines and moments from earlier, I already kinda knew that he was gonna be the villain, but after he gets shot down and rises from the ashes, and gives them this look, I knew it was over. His Aura DLC pack was 50% of the way installed. And this man really pulls a Jimmy Neutron.
Got a blast!
But the team finally knows what's up with Bob. And while they're out in the middle of nowhere, they get picked up by the Red Guardian. And while they're in the car, Santa basically gives them the rundown of why he's here. Yeah, I heard Valentina say these ones are straight food and I knew y'all were toast. But 2 trucks appear behind them and they start letting it spray. But these buffoons are powerless to change their predicament before a truck gets boomed. And that's when we see Bucky. Oh my god, do it again. I am so sorry I ever disrespected you. I wanted to clown Bucky, but you know. Bucky takes the group and ties them up because now they're evidence. But he gets a call from Mel and now they all know that they gotta save Bobby. Speaking of Bobby, he got kidnapped by the ops and now Valentina's telling him that he can be more than he ever thought. And as Bucky crashes into the Avengers Tower with them all throwing hands with anybody in sight, Valentina says she left the door open for them. They find Valentina and she wants to get them all riled up, so she starts talking so much trash. Bucky, you like 300 something. I don't even know how you got here without your gang. It's funny that your name's Ghost because you're the most forgettable person on this team. John, I know you ain't breathing back there. They really drafted the knockout Captain America. And Yelena, you look like you've been through World War II. What happened? Don't even get me started on this dude. I know you have to wear that shiesty because you ain't get a cut in weeks. Bucky's sick of all this and he tries to grab her, but she's not alone. My dog comes down the stairs and his Aura DLC pack is 75% of the way installed. And what I watch this man do to this group actually needs to be studied. He tells them that he ain't trying to fight and they should just turn themselves in. But Red Guardian really hits the...
I'm gonna do my own thing.
And then they really get to boxing. Sentry really hit him like this. Oh nah, bro. And he's blocking every single hit. He is not trying to hear it. Straight up done with the tomfoolery. But it's actually sickening. This man's aura farming needs to be studied in a lab, because he was not like this at the beginning of the movie. Like, I really want you to see how he does Red Guardian here, because he throws him out a window just to bring him back and slam him into the ground. And apparently that ain't enough, because after doing this, he goes right into a weave from Ghost. This is actually sickening works. He turns this man's shield into a taco. And bro, it gets worse. He literally starts bullying Bucky, bro. Look at how he does this, man. Oh my gosh, bro, this is actually sick. And if all that wasn't enough, if he hasn't showed you that he has aura yet, this man fights everybody at the same time. Bro, it's never that serious. Bucky goes in for a 1v1 and man, I just want him to hang it up, bro, because he is beating him effortlessly and slaps him with his own arm. But the Thunderbolts leave pretty defeated and Valentina is telling Sentry that he has to do what she says. And he says, why does a god have to listen to anyone at all? And he's right. If I saw that, I would let him do whatever he wants. He's tripping. But Mel eventually presses the kill switch and Sentry falls to the floor. But nah, he ain't done. He comes back with 100% certified aura. And you might say I'm a dork for even saying that word, but do you see this? This is what this term means. And then they took it a step further. Not only is this the coldest villain since Thanos, but he's really an allegory for depression. And I'll get to all that stuff later because the way they tackle this topic about mental illness is actually peak.
Anyways, I am your second host, Demetrius DeMarcus Bartholomew James III Jr. If you don't know me, I'm a 6'1" feminist with veiny hands.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
In touch with my... Alright, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck? But my boy Relia was right. You know, sorry I was a little bit interrupted by some hoodlum, but let me continue. You know, nothing brings me a smile on my face when I see a beautiful Black King himself aura farming all over the screen. Alright, I've never felt this much aura radiating since freaking Black Panther and of course Captain America: A Brave New World.
If you ever spout some nonsense like that again, you kick down my video.
Shut up, Relly! Shut up! This is my moment!
Brave New World.
I'm fighting for my fucking life here!
yourself immediately. I
was fighting for my fucking life! You know how many times I get freaking bullied every...
You know, Black Panther wasn't that good anyways.
Wait. Relly basically was talking about, you know, the aura from freaking Sentry and talking about how peak he is. And I understand that completely. I completely agree. But there's one thing that he hasn't went over enough. My hatred for this fucking bitch-ass nigga, freaking John Walker. You know how much I hate that racist-ass bastard, bro? Sorry, I was a little bit heated. I just hate John Walker. he's a little bit of a racist bastard. Sure, someone being like, he has a black wife. He has a black... Buddy, alright? Look, man, this man, you can tell he's racist, alright? He gets his views of black women from Tyler Perry movies, and we already know how they make us look. The audacity. Granted, though, John Walker's the only character that I do have a problem with. All the other characters are fine. You know, Yelena, you know, a white tear went down my leg, but, you know, that happened to all of us. You know, we all had a white tear down our leg when we saw Yelena.
What?
Since I started, you know, after, you know, my goon sets with Yelena, you know, another peak character that I actually like is the Sentry. You know, like I said, we haven't had a black superhero or farming like this since Sam Wilson. Bob is one of the best characters, if not the best character in that movie. He's my GOAT. He's literally me. Just the swagger that was on screen was crazy. This man was bagging Yelena. You know, he was spitting that game, spitting that talk. Had her opening up, coming out of her shell like a turtle.
Nah. You don't understand. Bob ain't getting with Elena. I'm not trying to say Bob ain't nothing.
You're hating because you're fucking chopped. You got a beak for a nose.
And your forehead is so damn clear.
Sentry is the most intimidating villain since Thanos. Because even though he could snap and 5 years has passed and you've just been turned to dust at the end of the day, no time really passed for those people that got snapped. Only for the other people. So it's a lot more of a traumatic event for them than it is for you. Sentry, on the other hand, they can just teleport you to your worst moment. Like, you know, maybe you go back in time to where your ex cheated on you with a gay guy. Continuing on that trauma note. Sorry, really? It's okay. She left me for a gay girl. Anyways, to that whole thing where he goes into the New York City. For one, let's start there. His kill count, fucking insane. Those freaking helicopter guys thought that bullets could work. Buddy, this is the MCU. When have bullets ever fucking worked? Carnage. Blood scattered all over. Organs on the street. We're not even talking about the full final battle. You see people running for their lives in fear, thinking that they can outrun this big black monster. It's scary. This child thinks he's safe because the Red Guardian is there to protect her. Gun. Half of New York is disappearing by the billions. And Yelena makes one brave sacrifice, seemingly killing herself. The acting from her father is Oscar-worthy. We see that Yelena is inside Bob, and not me. We first get to dive deeper into Yelena's trauma, because, you know, you can't be a good Marvel hero without some insane trauma. We see that she ended up getting some kid killed, you know, like her first body at freaking 9 years old. Rookie numbers. I had 5 bodies at 6. Anyways, continuing on, we finally see her overcome that trauma, and we see more of that trauma, you know, when she's fighting herself or in the court being tried, and her freaking alcoholism is still a bit congested. Since, you know, Yelena gets through all of that trauma herself, we get to the main GOAT's trauma, Bob's trauma. Growing up in an abusive household, you know, tragic, but it happens to a lot of people. We end up seeing him hiding in this room, saying that, and I quote, that this is the best room out here. And it is a deeper conversation, and it's different from all of the other battles. When normally most battles are a fight to the death and cinematic with combat and choreography, a lot of this battle is just an emotional talking to as they learn how to heal and learn that suppressing your trauma just makes things worse over time. And I was really glad that Bob wasn't a bad guy, because Rolly told me that he was going to get curb stomped like an American History X, and I actually believed that. The fucking bastard. The most important thing that I actually do like is how the other characters went in there to save them, which is like the power of teamwork and the battle within himself. We get to learn more and more about these characters, and they actually feel more like an actual family compared to the Avengers, and I really hope that we get to see more of them. I don't really like John Walker though, but I kind of hope that he actually gets character development rather than just having to fight someone that's just worse than him. That's my biggest critique, because I hate the freaking asshole. All right. But at least I really like this movie. I saw it with, you know, Rolly and Jack, which you probably already heard. And I do love this movie. And also, if you love me, I might be around.
But even with all that, this movie's just a really good allegory for mental health. I know my videos are usually all jokey, but I want to get serious here for a minute because the topics that they tackle in this movie are actually really good. This movie takes a step back to look at depression and that emptiness that we feel, that darkness inside us that manifests as the void in this story. And it's that dilemma where you can tell everybody that you're fine, everything's okay, but there is that side of you that just feels like there's no purpose, you know, everything's meaningless. And I do like the ending because it showcases two things. One, it shows that though you may feel like it, though you may tell yourself it, you're not alone. You know, you have people that do care about you and do love you. And two, that it never really goes away. You just kind of learn how to manage it. Like, he doesn't want to use his powers in the post-credit scene because that risks the void coming back. But it's okay, Bob. You have a family and you have people that love you. Except John Walker, that guy still sucks. And that's Thunderbolts, 10 out of 10, would see again, maybe bring a friend. This movie's a banger. Overall, I hope the MCU finds its footing again and makes more movies like this, because this proves that they are a step in the right direction at least. And I'll be talking about Marvel again real soon, come July. But those are just my thoughts on Thunderbolts, and I will see you guys in the next video.
People don't always have it figured out, Lou. I worked so hard and now my dreams are coming true. It took a while, but I'm glad I'm here with you. So you know that dreams come true. Dreams coming true. Dreams coming true.